Good afternoon, Mets fans, and welcome to a Friday edition of Driving with Mr. Met. I am Mr. Met, and the Mets took the first game of an important four-game set with the Atlanta Braves last night. The score was 6-3. It was of course, not an easy win. They never seem to be this year, but a win is a win is a win is a win is a win. And got to talk about Steven Matz today. Got to talk about Pete Alonso, who seems to dazzle every time he gets into the batter's box. And I got to talk also about Ahmed Rosario as the stars from last night's game. I also want to talk about the rest of this series coming up the weekend, and also a little bit about the Wednesday night game with the Twins. So this is highly unprofessional of me to do this, but I do have a lollipop in my mouth as I'm recording this video. Anyway, I'm glad to be back after a day away. Mets are riding a 2-game winning streak now after collecting the series split with the Twins on Wednesday night and the opening win last night. Really quickly on about the Wednesday night game with the Twins, I had said on Twitter the night before, while DeGrom sort of melted down and had his rough start, that it was really going to be incumbent on Noah Syndergaard to go deep into the Thursday game, and he did just that. He pitched into the 8th inning. He pitched really well. He ran out of gas at the end, of course, but got to tip your cap to Noah for giving the team really what they needed at that point, which was length out of a starter after DeGrom, a guy who you can always depend on that for, uncharacteristically did not the night before. So the Mets ended up getting a win. An odd game. There was that really strange inning where there was 1 hit and 5 runs scored because the Twins bullpen pulled their best Mets/Nationals impression and couldn't retire any batters and couldn't throw strikes. And then they were hitting batters, and it was just a nightmare inning for a pitching coach and a manager to have to endure. I'm glad it wasn't the Mets enduring it, and they were on the positive side of that. So to talk quickly about last night's game, if you look at the Mets starting rotation at this point in the season, you will see that Steven Matz possesses the lowest earned run average of all the Mets starters. Would you have expected that after 3 starts? I certainly would not have. And Matz looked really, really good last night. What was encouraging most to me about the Matz performance was that he gave up a run in the first inning. And he gave up a run on a couple of balls that might have been outs otherwise. And he maintained his composure, and that's the part that impressed me. You know, that Matz did not falter. He got himself out of the inning, kept himself out of trouble for the rest of the night, pitched 7 strong innings, and he's lowered his ERA. So good for Steven Matz. I think his ERA is like 2 right now, which is awesome. I didn't mean to say lowered; he kept it low. Coming into the game, I think his ERA was 1.80. But regardless, his ERA is really good, and he looked really good last night. At the plate last night, the star of the game was Ahmed Rosario. Drove in 4 of the Mets' 6 runs on the night. He hit a big first inning home run off of Kevin Gausman, who looked, by the way, for the Braves, who looked really, really good on the mound for Atlanta. Despite giving up 4 runs, he looked really good. And, of course, it wouldn't be a night talking about offensive prowess without mentioning Pete Alonso. Alonso hit the 9th hardest / fastest exit velocity ball in the StatCast era. He's on the list in the top 9 with someone not named Judge or Stanton. 118 something miles per hour off the bat, and it was absolutely a laser beam to center field, dead center, into that pond, which I think a lot of us on Mets Twitter didn't even know was there. That was the sort of the comment du jour on that, was sort of like, there's a pond in center field? Holy crap. And it's because no one hits it, because that ball was absolutely crushed by Alonso, his 6th home run of the year. what more can you say? I mean, dude, the dude is absolutely legit. He is setting Mets rookie records left and right. Interestingly, my Mets trivia question yesterday or the day before was about who holds, or who was the only Mets rookie to hit 20 or more home runs in their rookie season. You know, what Mets player did it? And the answer, of course, was Darryl Strawberry. Straw hit 26 home runs in '83 as a rookie. Ike Davis and Ron Swoboda were second on that list with 19 apiece in their rookie campaigns. At this point, is there any question that as long as he stays on the field, Pete Alonso's not going to not just surpass but shatter that record that Straw has held for 36 years? I think the answer is most definitely yes. Strawberry is on pace to, Alonso rather is on pace to hit like 85 home runs at this point in the season. So this is great. It's awesome that he's having such early season success. Let's not get completely carried away, though. I sort of in jest mentioned the 80-some home runs. The league is going to adjust to him, and of course it's going to be up to him to adjust back. And we'll see if he's able to do that. I hope he is, and we'll see what happens there. So let's move on to the rest of this series with the Braves. The Mets play 3 more in Atlanta. Tonight, Zach Wheeler on the mound, and I think it's going to be important for Wheeler to sort of brush off what happened in his start on Sunday against the Nats, where he just was utterly ineffective, unable to find the plate. Or that was Saturday? Yeah, it was Sunday, sorry. Completely ineffective, couldn't find the plate, walked the ballpark, and took the Mets out of the game before the game really even got underway. And I hope that Wheeler's able to command the strike zone better tonight and give the Mets a better chance to stay in games. Because look, in the early season, I think the one thing that we can all agree on is that this Mets offense is going to keep this team in every game. And it's been a long time that we could say that about the New York Mets. It's always been, the pitching will keep the team in games if only the Mets can get some runs or can get some offense. And now it's like completely the opposite. The pitching is the problem, including the starting pitching. And so that's why tonight it's going to be super important for Wheeler to have a good quality outing. Not only because he needs it for himself, but the team needs it. Because on Saturday, the Mets are going to send Jason Vargas to the mound in what I hope is his final start as a member of the New York Mets. Vargas is going to get lit up by the Atlanta Braves lineup. It's going to be a painful experience, and I pride myself on watching every game. I've done so for almost 13 years they've been on SNY. Almost the last 13 years I've watched every game. And there are very few games in advance where I go into the game thinking, I just don't want to watch this. And I can think this is one of them. This Vargas start on Saturday is definitely going to be one of those games that I don't want to watch. So it might well be, and hopefully is, his final start as a member of this rotation. We'll see. So that'll wrap it up for today. I will try to be back. Actually, I might be able to come back tomorrow, depending on my morning. So I'll leave that open. I might have a special weekend edition of Driving with Mr. Met. If not, though, it'll be back on Monday morning to recap the weekend set with the Bravos and talk about next week's real big important road series, number 2, being against the Philadelphia Phillies. I will be in attendance for one of those games, so I'll talk more about that on Monday. So until then, or until tomorrow, or whatever, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at Mr_Met. And as always, let's go Mets.